The Bears are back, baby. They won the offseason. Playoffs, here we come. Huddle up! That's right. Welcome back, Halas Huddlers. As always, I'm Rob Schwartz with Bear Goggles On. With me again is Bob Weiss. We are going to talk about hype. We're going to talk about Chicago Bears hype. But before we do, Bob, I just want to say thank you because these snake drafts that we have been doing over the last couple of weeks that we have planned, and we're bringing in some guests, like they have just been so much fun during this time of the season. Like so much coach speak, so much just nonsense, like gaps in content. People getting mad at Caleb Williams because he's not practicing, but he's going to concerts. Like going with these snake drafts and like talking about former Bears, talking about current Bears. I mean, it's just been so much fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. That format of content where we just kind of bring up topics and exchange ideas about them is just for us, very refreshing to kind of in these 6 weeks when nothing is going on. So it's just kind of been a lot of fun doing these things. So we got a few more planned. So we'll see how they go. These next upcoming guests coming on will be fun. But yeah, we're really enjoying these things. I hope you guys are too.
Yeah, and I'm competitive. I know Bob's competitive. Justin can be competitive as well. So check those out. I mean, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss them. I know it's a little bit different than what we've been doing, but go check those out. And you get to vote for who the winner is in the comment section. So you got to kind of drive and control what happens with those episodes. But today, we're going to actually talk some Bears news, rumors-ish. We got some articles that have been coming out from multiple outlets, The Athletic, CBS, Pro Football Focus. I've seen stuff from Bears Wire. I've seen stuff from Bear Goggles On. There's been a lot of stuff out there. But one thing that I saw that I brought to your attention was a CBS article that basically went through and ranked the top 10 teams for winning the offseason. And the Chicago Bears were number one. It's over. We won the offseason. The season, 2025, here we go. Bears win. I can be happy. Let's just call it the end of the year. Give me my Lombardi trophy and let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be definitely at least a two-peat, possibly a three-peat. Yeah. Bears title, off-season champion. So obviously we know it means nothing, but there is something that feels a little real, feels a little different about this one, right? Like we have a true number one overall pick in the draft quarterback. I understand that maybe he's not Andrew Luck, right? But he was the guy in that draft, okay? I know there are other quarterbacks, but the talent is real, and we saw flashes of that talent. Some of those, a couple touchdown throws right off the top of my head, the Keenan Allen come to mind about him just fitting in such a tight window while kind of off balance. That's a special throw that our quarterback can do. Roma Dunze is a guy that I know PFF has now, touted as a breakout candidate this year. That's our wide receiver coach who came in this year, Antoine Randall, said he was his favorite wide receiver in a draft with a generational talent like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors out in the Giants. So there's real, actual talent here, right? This isn't a Mitch Trubisky situation that we're hoping is going to be good, right? It's not a Justin Fields situation where there were critics of him coming out in the draft. This is Caleb Williams, number one overall pick, Roma Dunze, real talent. And the most important piece is Ben Johnson coming here, highly sought after head coach who wanted to come here. This isn't a Matt Nagy situation where Matt Nagy wasn't being courted for seasons on end before he finally decided to become a head coach. Matt Nagy is one of the lowest paid head coaches when, the Bears finally gave him his contract, whereas Ben Johnson is one of the league's highest paid head coaches already, right? Like there's so many things that point to this being real. And then the last thing is just kind of the eye test, right? What are we seeing at the podium for Ben Johnson? It just looks and feels different from all these other not real head coaches that the Bears have had for the past decade or so. So, as much as I love to say, you gotta wait to see, there seems to be something real going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, you hinted at it. So CBS did have them as the number one team in winning the offseason last year as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Good omen. All right.
But the haul was there. And now here's the difference, though, because even going into 2024, like we all were against Matt Eberflus being here. We knew it was going to be a train wreck, and it sure as hell was a train wreck. But we saw Caleb Williams deal with massive chaos. I mean, I don't even know how you want to call it, like just ridiculousness going on in the locker room. Your offensive coordinator gets fired midseason. Your head coach gets fired midseason. The first time ever that franchise history that those two things have happened. You saw the year before, like the running backs coach, the defensive coordinator, like whatever is going on with Matt Eberflus, I just don't think he's head coach material and never should be a head coach ever again. Good luck in Dallas as your defensive coordinator over there, but it's the Ben Johnson effect. Like it's just the Ben Johnson effect. Look, he's calling out guys for being late with timing. Caleb Williams specifically, receivers not running the right routes, pre-snap cadences. But what we're hearing from the media, and I don't know, look, the Chicago Bears media has never really been one to sugarcoat things, right? They just really aren't. Like Hogan Johns sometimes will be a lot more positive, upbeat guys, but like, Wiederer and before Rich Campbell when he was here and Potash, like they're not sugarcoat guys. And to hear that the pre-snap cadence stuff has been being corrected, like it's being picked up, like those things were happening early on and those things are changing now. I'm hearing from Gary Rappaport that they're very pleased with how much development has already happened between Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. There's some other bad things going on in the locker room that are rumored, with, specifically with Luther Burden. Like, does he love football? I don't know. That's kind of the rumor out there, that it's not really an injury thing with him. It's more of I don't know if I want to play, if it's a contract situation type of thing. But this team just seems to have an arrow pointing up. And you can't help but be on the hype train. Now, I will say CBS had Minnesota number 3 on the list for teams winning the offseason. Number 2, by the way, was the New England Patriots, which I do agree with, because I think getting rid of, why can't I think of the coach that was there? Gerard Mayo, and now
Mayo. Yeah, I couldn't get Vrabel's name out of my head either.
I was going to say, and now they have Vrabel, right?
Vrabel, yeah.
2 former New England guys that,
right.
Kind of conflicting there. But I think Vrabel is going to help that team, excel forward. But I just don't see that they've made the same amount of type of offseason moves that we've seen here in Chicago. But the offensive line specifically, that is a big change. I know we're still questioning a little bit with the defensive line, but Grady Jarrett isn't, just some scrub. Like, I know he's older, but he's not a scrub. The corners, and the defensive backs, as long as they can stay healthy, that's probably one of your top defensive units in the NFL. I don't know. It's a tough NFC North division, but I do see the Lions kind of taking a step down, losing both their coordinators. Maybe the bear goggles are on just too tight already.
They might be, but I mean, it's interesting that you do say the Vikings were number 3 on this list, because where were their main investments? In the trenches? Yep. They did offensive tackles and interior offensive line, just like the Bears, right?
Yeah.
The Bears, like you said, the defensive line might not be to the exact heights that we want it to be, but it is majorly improved from last year, where there were so many snaps going to practice squad guys, and Zach Pickens couldn't even play. Yeah. So it's massively upgraded. And so you take these massively upgraded trenches, both interior offensive line with all pros and pro bowlers, and then the defensive line, and then you add what I talked about beginning with the coaching and skill, like real plausible breakouts for truly elite talents. And it's all just lining up to being like, no one's going to be happy to play the Bears. It's just, they should be much, much improved. Now, that still is the caveat. We have to see it, right? Like, I do think that it's okay to believe that the signs are there, but you can't start actually saying they are there until you see them, until you actually see it on the field.
Yeah, I mean, left tackle is still a big question mark, right? What's going to happen at the third wide receiver spot? But I do think, they have some other options there, even if Luther Burden does take a while to get, going.
Yeah, Zacchaeus should be the guy that they signed him to be before they even knew they were going to get Luther Burden. So
exactly. Yeah, I don't know. There's just something about this, like you said, just seems different. The way that they handled the offseason, from their coaching cycle, hiring cycle, that part of it alone. Caleb Williams had the best rookie quarterback season we've seen here in Chicago. I don't know.
All that nonsense going on. Three different offensive coordinators, 2 different play callers, wide receivers just running off the field mid-play, and he still put up one of the 5 or 6 best seasons a Bears quarterback has ever put up. So there's something real there.
Yeah, and he wants to be coached. Like, that's something that he has made it very clear. Ben Johnson has said, like, look, even when he's making mistakes, like, he's coachable. He's coachable. He wants to learn.
I will say that is one narrative that I think is easy to say right now, but we really will not be able to evaluate how much Caleb Williams truly loves coaching, and still until the games start and we see what happens when the bullets start flying. When something bad happens, how are we going to see Caleb Williams react? How is it going to happen during a game when Caleb Williams decides not to go to that check down and instead try to avoid a defender and make a play and get a sack or throw an ugly pick, right? Is the coaching going to be okay there? Are you going to coach out this guy's instincts, or are you going to berate him because he didn't get to his check down on time, right? So I think there's still some there that I'm not all sunshines and roses about this relationship between those two yet. I want to see that in the weeds a little bit more before I give that some merit.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that and understand your skepticism or hesitation there, right? Not skepticism, hesitation. But I mean, just again, to go back and see like the changes that he is making, even if they're small, but those small changes that we are seeing, to me says he is coachable. But like you said, it's when the shit hits the fan. Do you actually maintain that, muscle memory, the changes that you were making in the offseason, or do you revert back to seeing ghosts and throwing things? And look, he didn't throw a lot of interceptions, but more just holding out of the ball and taking sacks. So definitely understand the hesitation there, but I'm going to call it right now. He's throwing for 4,000 yards this year.
I think so. I think it's 4,000. I'm on board. The 30 touchdowns,
no,
that is hard. So it still might just be 27, 28, but we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, there's, we're doing this episode because there's so many different publications talking about improvement. And I don't necessarily think it's just they're trying to find things to talk about. I think there's real improvement happening. And so it's tough not to be excited. Really.
Yeah, I'm really excited for training camp. Let's see if it continues. That's going to be the big step. Look, July 9th, I think, is when tickets go on sale. So if you're looking to get some tickets to go to Halas Hall and watch some practice, I will try to be there for at least one, but I might not be able to with my vacation plans this year.
Yeah, I'd love to try to get to, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, but again, then there's 2 joint practices. So that'll be interesting to see. So if those things are continuing and we're not seeing, because look, when Jay Cutler was here, we heard negative things in camp. When Justin Fields was here, we heard negative things in camp. Mitch Trubisky, we heard negative things in camp. And people tried to talk it up a little bit, but it was always negative. I'm just hoping that it's all positive and, this season's just it's a tough schedule too. Let's not forget that. It's going to be a really tough schedule. So they got to come out hot.
Schedules ever for a last place team.
Yeah. I don't know.
So.
Maybe things will work out in their favor and they're playing backup quarterbacks again like they did a few years ago.
Yeah, you never know. You never know how it's going to work out. You never know. So
that's all I got.
Yeah. Another fun, kind of short to the point episode here, but we thought it'd be fun. So, of course, drop those comments. Let us know how you think. Is it all hype? Are you buying it? Are you just saying, no, it's just another Bears season coming up? Of course, they'll find a way to fail. But either way, let us know. We can't wait to hear what y'all think.
All right. Until next time, guys, bear down. Claws up.
Ready, break.